Welcome, friendo.
What is this place?
This is Ceti Alpha V, the greatest one-stop shopping center in the quadrant, partnering with our sister planet Genesis, the greatest family adventure planet in the universe.
You got hookers?
Nope.
Space spices?
You want cinnamon?
Weapons?
14 stores and a daily gun show at the old Federation shuttle site. They're doing a Space Bible giveaway with every hunting phaser rifle.
I'm on my way. And until then, I present to no one the next episode, When the Bough Breaks. We start without the voiceover, and it's kind of creepy. Instead, Riker just quietly wanders the hall, and I had to see if the computer muted the playback again. Then, some little kid named Harry blatantly disobeys his father's commands to stop running through the deck and return to him. He predictably runs into Riker. The kid doesn't want to learn calculus, so his father shoves him around a few times. Great parenting. Riker doesn't care though, and continues his quiet shuffle to the bridge, while flutes play springtime music for some reason. Picard tells Riker they've been following a trail of faint energy readings that seems to have stopped cold in the Epsilon Minos system. Riker beams excitedly. Aldea, a lost planet, like Atlantis of space. They're supposed to be super advanced and completely self-contained. Riker thinks this faint energy could be a whole planet of advanced tech, even by their standards, just hiding in space. The scanners show nothing, but Troy senses a planet's worth of people. Literally seconds after mentioning this hidden mythological planet, it decloaks in front of them. An entire planet. That's one hell of a coincidence. Epic titles. And then the captain drops his log. Data explains the electromagnetic shield of the planet refracts light, or something. The power needed for this is insane, and they've had it for millennia. But we're glossing all of this bullshit. They hail the planet and are greeted by Rochella. Picard chokes up at this opportunity. But with us just learning about all this right before it happens, it only feels forced and tacky. Picard suddenly wonders why they reveal themselves now, to them, after hiding for thousands of years. But she brushes they'll talk about all that later, and instantly teleport to the bridge with Radu, the Aldean leader. Crusher is concerned that they didn't beam over, and therefore didn't go through the medical decontamination that provides. The Aldeans ignore this and offer some flowers which could also be contaminated. They then invite the crew down, calling Riker by name. Radu admits they've been monitoring their communications, and is anyone else going to question the full bag of red flags this guy is passing out? Radu grabs his head in pain. I hope he didn't take Jameson's herbs and drugs for this. The Aldeans then teleport away to get ready to host the away party. Riker is smart for once, saying they led them here with that signal, and something's up. Troy says that they want something so valuable that they're afraid the crew won't part with it. Riker, Crusher, and Troy are then teleported to Aldea, which looks like Angel 1, Lagan, Rubicon 3, or any other alien civilization so far. The sets barely seem to change. I guess they're banking you'll be caught in the visual distinctions from species to species. Back on the Enterprise, a piss-colored spotlight shines methodically from crewman to crewman, scanning. It stops on Wesley, and I'm assuming the other children. They want the kids. Y'all won't part with them, but they want them. Would explain their odd behavior and desire to reveal themselves for the first time ever, like Fallout, or other stories where someone has to venture out of their safe haven to save it. It's a trope at this point. The Enterprise can't raise the shields. The Aldeans have complete control, and Worf confirms the scans were highlighting the children. Back down on the planet, Radu admits his people are dying out. They have no children. Rochella was the last child born. They're a genetic dead end, so they want some kids to jumpstart their civilization and preserve it. They're offering a lot of tech in return, but that's just not an option. Radu says, "That sucks. You suck for not giving us your kids." They teleport the crew back to the ship, and then teleport the children off of it. They kidnap kids. This is some Epstein, Weinstein, P. Diddy, BBL, Drizzy bullshit right here. The Enterprise hails the planet, and Radu says, "Let's work out compensation." And Picard goes off. It's the most badass and fiery he's ever been. It's the diplomatic version of Liam Neeson's Taken speech. Down on the planet, the kids are scared, but Wesley plays brave leader. Worf said the saucer section reported 6 more children taken when Riker entered the bridge earlier, but I'm sure we're only going to see 6 down here at all. And I bet they're annoying. Radu says Wesley was pegged to be their leader in prelim research, and duh, he's twice as tall as the next oldest kid. Radu then says, whatever you ask for, you'll have. Ask to go home, kid. Roll credits. I feel like they've recently nerfed Wesley a little bit after complaints or something. He's gone from, I know everything, to near clueless at times recently. He and Riker have switched spots on that. The parents don't seem emotionally distraught enough for me. One cries, sure, but if someone took my kids, I'd have already stolen a shuttlecraft by now. But I know I'm not as refined a perfect human as these knobs. The Aldeans immediately set to absorbing and indoctrinating the kids. It's actually creepy. The music should have less flutes and more Michael Myers synth. The Aldeans are literally already fighting over possession of the kids amongst themselves too. Picard, meanwhile, lays it out for Riker. The Aldeans have all the cards, the kids, and the power. They'll feign negotiation and offer compensation to be refused, so they can cut talks and disappear behind their shield forever. Back with Wesley, he's introduced to the Aldean supercomputer that controls their society, the Custodian. It's run their society for thousands of years, and I already know he's the reason they ain't got no babies. These people blindly do what it and its rituals demand without ever questioning it, checking for errors, or even investigating its workings. At that price, you're crazy. Look at this junk. Look, what I need is a photon torpedo array. And I need to be packed with an assload of torpedoes. Wait, that doesn't sound right. When we come back, Picard and Crusher teleport down to Aldea to negotiate. Radu doesn't understand why they care so much, and Picard enlightens him of a human's primal instinct to die for their children. Radu offers information on parts of the galaxy they've never even heard of. How? Y'all hide on a rock. Talks end. They send the captain and doctor back, and then provide a demonstration of their power by flinging the Enterprise through space at warp speed with a repulsor beam. They're 3 days away at warp 9 now, and Radu says if they don't accept the terms, he'll push them so far away, the kids will be grandparents by the time they return. Picard also points out that amount of power could easily disintegrate the ship. Crusher tells the captain, and us, that the Aldeans all have chromosomal damage, and are in a sense dying. Aren't we all? This is the payoff to the weak headache setup earlier. But more importantly, it's why they can't conceive. Their species is just like when you clone a weed plant too many times and the genetics degrade. The bulk of this episode is literally the kids not wanting to be there, the Aldeans not understanding, and the crew talking about getting them back. But eventually, Wesley decides to form an escape plan, and he sneaks to the other kids for help. The plan is a passive resistance by refusal to talk and eat. The kids are gonna Gandhi their way out. Hope that works out. Fuck me, there's 7 kids. You got me, show. I was wrong. We get an insert of Crusher, wondering if the Aldeans were suffering a weakened ozone layer, as Earth had apparently done sometime in the 21st century, to similar sterile effects. Buckle up, gents, children of men is happening soon. She tells the captain they're suffering radiation poisoning. And good news, everyone, it's treatable. These people can cloak a planet. They have shield, repulse, and teleportation tech unheard of. They have shit that carves wood with thought, and they didn't know they were radiation poisoned and how to treat it? This is stupid. I'm sorry, but that's dumb as fuck. More good news. Geordi found a fluctuation in the shields that they can beam through if timed properly. Picard says why not just beam the kids then, and Riker says the timing would be more difficult and risk greater. But bloody hell, Mr. Handwave! Beam from here to there or there to here and it's the exact same. Light is a constant, unless acted upon by an outside force such as gravity, but still. My God, the children's acting is terrible. Even Wesley is more stilted than normal in scenes with the young ones, like he's accidentally feeding off their mediocrity. Data and Riker beam down when the Aldeans teleport Picard and Crusher for final talks. They immediately find the Custodian, and Data sets to scrambling its inputs. Meanwhile, Picard is teleported to the kids to stop Wesley's insurrection. It's really just to have Picard and kids, 'cause he hates kids, right? But halfway through the first season of 7, and they're already chipping that away. Crusher brings superiority back to the feds when she informs this ungodly advanced people that they're dying of what might as well be a cold. Lulz. She even says his scientists don't know shit when Radu wonders why they didn't know. Picard says it was the shields and cloak mate. Strip the ozone, and now your star's radiation is killing your species. Radu hits his teleporter button, but nothing happens, because Data temporarily scrambled incoming data requests to the custodian. He and Riker also cut power to the shields, so Picard has the kids beamed back aboard. Now that Picard's the one with all the cards again, he's the one offering to help a begging Radu. Later on the bridge, Data exposits, "Oh, we reseeded their ozone, but they can't use the shield or cloak anymore." That's tidy. Crusher walks in saying, "They're responding very well to the treatment, which must be fucking magic to instantly visibly aid in a lifetime of radiation poisoning." Then Wesley brings the smallest kid onto the bridge to thank Picard. Picard does the, "Oh, I'm mad, but I'll allow it" bit. Secret softy. Warp away. Roll credits. I genuinely want to champion the first season. There's great episodes. There's great moments in mediocre episodes. There's something to love in most of them. But then there's so many terrible ones like this one, where I can only wonder what the hell they were thinking. Real time. When the Bough Breaks, originally airing on February 15th, 1988, deals with a society that kidnaps children from the Enterprise to repopulate their own sterile civilization. The idea stemmed from a concept by Hannah Louise Shear, who wrote the teleplay, and explored themes of infertility and the moral dilemma of a society driven to extreme measures for survival. The episode was shaped to fit the framework of The Next Generation's first season, which often grappled with ethical and philosophical questions. The initial drafts were sent through several revisions to ensure the story aligned with the vision of Gene Roddenberry, who was heavily involved in the early development of The Next Generation. Roddenberry's influence was pivotal in maintaining the optimistic and humanistic ethos of the series, but did stunt the conflicts and early growth while ruffling more than a few feathers. Casting for the guest roles was crucial, especially for the characters of the Aldeans and the children from the Enterprise. Jerry Hardin was cast as Radu, the leader of the Aldeans. Hardin helped convey the desperation and moral complexity of his character. The child actors, including Jerry Superian as Harry and Ivy Bethune as Alexandra, were chosen for their supposed ability to portray vulnerability and resilience. The production design team faced the challenge of creating the advanced yet sterile world of Aldea. The set designs needed to reflect a civilization that had achieved great technological heights but was now facing decline, but ended up just looking more of the same. Special effects were employed to create the cloaking device that hid Aldea and the teleportation effects, with the visual effects team using a combination of practical effects and early CGI techniques. The episode was directed by Kim Manners, who was making his directorial debut in the Star Trek franchise. Manners was well known for his work on everything from Charlie's Angels in the 70s, to The X-Files, and even to Supernatural up to 2008, a year before his death. His direction aimed to balance the emotional aspects of the story with the sci-fi elements to ensure that the viewer remained engaged with both the characters' plights and the overarching ethical questions. Not his best work. One of the main challenges faced by the production was the integration of complex special effects within the constraints of the television budget and technology of the late 1980s. The team had to be innovative, often relying on unique practical effects and creative camera work to achieve the desired visual impact. Upon its initial airing, When the Bough Breaks received mixed reviews from critics and fans. Some praised the episode for tackling serious social issues, and for its emotional depth, while others felt that it was too heavy-handed in its moral messaging. The episode is, however, noted for its exploration of parental bonds and the consequences of technological dependence, told through ambitious storytelling with cinematic presentation. It exemplifies the show's willingness to address complex social and ethical issues through the lens of science fiction, contributing to the enduring legacy of The Next Generation as a series that not only entertained, but also provoked thought and reflection on important issues.
All right. 4 torpedo arrays with auto feed, 100 photon torpedoes, 3 ultra-frequency phaser banks, a secondary warp core, and we upgraded your shields.
Wish you guys had a holodeck, but beggars can't be choosers.
It's all loaded up. That'll be 20,000 bars of gold pressed platinum. We will also accept payment in Federation credits.
Oh yeah, no worries, guy. Just bill me. Captain Romeo Bravo of the USS New Orleans. The Federation takes care of all upgrade and repair costs. Peace! Computer, warp away, now.